Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to part 2 of our heavy-duty knurling tool kit build. Tonight in particular, we are going to be working on the wheel pins. Let's go over to the part identification page. Here we are, component identification. Each arm assembly gets a pin through that the knurling wheel rides on. There's a couple of set screws that retain the wheel pin. Let's go to the part itself. Here is our list of operations for the wheel pins. We'll split the stock into 2 equal parts. We'll face the ends of the pins so that we can get an accurate measurement. Once they're faced and we have an accurate measurement, we can face to exact length. Then we'll create those grooves for the set screw to go into. A little bit of cleanup with the chamfering and that'll be it. Here's the detail of the wheel pin. 1 inch overall length. We're using our 1/4 inch stock, our 1/4 inch 01 tool steel. So we won't be changing that diameter. The hole in the knurling wheel is 1/4 inch diameter, and we've reamed 1/4 inch holes in our arms and our arm plates. 1 inch overall, and we have a couple of grooves here. That's where the set screws land, so that they can bite into the steel here and not mar this shaft. By providing this recess, it makes removing this wheel pin much easier than if you had put your set screw directly on the wheel pin. It gets messed up and makes it hard to remove. So a relatively simple part. 1 inch overall, 1/4 inch stock. We need 2 of them, and we're using 01 tool steel. Stock supplied in the kit is 2 1/4. Just before we get started with our wheel pins, I wanted to show you my diamond tool holder here. I'm just going to touch up the tip here. I've got one wonky facet here that I'm slowly working at getting rid of, but we'll just give it a quick refreshing kiss on the grinder and be ready to start our wheel pins. I'll bring you back when I'm set up on the grinder. Okay, so this jig comes with your diamond tool holder. I've got my actual cutter in the jig, and I'm ready to go. Of course, you never sharpen on the side of a wheel. You follow manufacturer's instructions. I've blued up the end of my tool bit. We did pretty well. We still have this facet that we're slowly working to correct. but the rest is nice and flat. She'll certainly cut. There's a bit of a burr on the side there now. I'll get my diamond stone and show you what we do there. Got a slight burr on the back side of the face there. That's all we need. You could shave with that if you had a little tiny face. So I've got my diamond tool holders swung around to my tailstock center, and I'm just lining the tool up for center height compared to my center and my tailstock. And I'm going to say right there, it is somewhat forgiving, but we've got a nice sharp bit now, set at center height. We are good to go. Let's get started on our wheel pins. Alright, here is our stock for our wheel pins. Going to use my collet chuck. Our first order of our first operation is to divide this stock in two. We have 2 pins to make. You could use a hacksaw, you could use a bandsaw. I'm going to use a parting tool. I've done the math, and I have my caliper here set for the length that I want. I'm using a pretty heavy duty parting tool here, so I'm using up a lot of my stock. So I'm going to be very careful to do it exactly in the center. Okay, we'll tighten up there. And I think we're pretty darn close right there. So we'll part this off. There we go, just like that. We can check that off our operations list. We want to now turn this to exact length. In order to get a proper measurement, we have to clean up both ends. We'll use our nicely sharpened diamond turning tool for that. So we'll just clean up this end. go. I'm just going to, that's got a burr on it now, I'm just going to hit it with some 400 grit. I'll flip it over and do the same to the other side just to clean up. Did I mention this is 01 tool steel? Nice good grade of steel. So we have both ends cleaned up. We'll do the same to the other pin and then we can check that off of our list. Okay, we'll clean up this end. I'm getting a little pip there, so I'm going to just raise my tool a titch. And we'll try that. There we go, a little sandpaper. Emery cloth. Rough bandsaw end. We'll clean that up. Alright, so we have our two pins. Cleaned up. Okay, here's our list of operations. We better get caught up here. We have our stock split into two, and we have faced all our ends so that we can get an accurate measurement. The next step is to face them to exact length. In order to keep everything straight in my head, I like to write stuff down. This overall length that we're doing now is pretty straightforward, but I'll just show you the process I go through to keep things straightened out. The project is a HDK wheel pins, HDK, a heavy duty knurling tool. Just an abbreviation as opposed to writing it out all the time. The feature we're working on is the overall length. The size on the print says 1 inch, 1.000. Not that actually the 1 inch is arbitrary. The pin sticks out both sides. As you can see here, the wheel pins stick out both sides, so the 1.000 is just a bit of silliness, but it gives us a chance to work on our accuracy. I believe we can get this length down to within 1 or 2 thou. So we're going to shoot for 1 inch. Our measured length, I got my nice relatively new Mitutoyo dial caliper here. 1.073. So we have 0.073 to be removed off the length. Let's go back to the lathe. Okay, facing to exact length. I have my facing tool brought against the face, gently but firmly. I have my dial indicator against the carriage here, and I'm carefully setting that to 0. We'll just do a double check here. Yes, that looks good. You recall from our math that we want 73 thousandths off. I'm going to go 20, 40, 60, and then our last 13. I'll use power feed for a nice finish. 20 thou, I'll lock my carriage. And our last 13 to bring us to 73, exactly on my dial. Carriage lock, power feed. Okay, I'll pull it out and I'll meet you at the bench. We again had a little bit of a burr on that edge, so I just did the 400 emery cloth, 2 thousandths under. Anyway, 2/1000ths. A human hair has a diameter of 3/1000ths of an inch, so we're pretty darn close for playing around in the basement. I'll do the other pin to length off camera and we'll... Okay, I decided to pull out the micrometer stand. Getting a good solid measurement on here now. So I'm using my scratch pad here. Wheel pin B. Our feature is the overall length. Shown on the print is 1 inch or 25.4 millimeters. Right now we're measuring 1.009 inches or 25.629 millimeters. So 9/1000ths to come off. Let's see if we can hit that bang on. Back to the lathe. Okay, we're nice and clean here. There's no chips going to get trapped in between the tool bit and the face of the work. I bring it up to the face of the work firmly but gently. Going to advance the carriage exactly 9/1000ths. Going to lock my carriage and we'll use power feed for a nice finish. Sorry. And we'll deburr. Let's go back to the bench and see how we did. .0015, 1.5 thou over. I'll take it. So that means face to exact length is taken care of. Now we will see about these grooves. Okay, here's my grooving tool. It's 0.062 wide. I'm going to put my grooving tool up against the face of the work. I'm going to then zero my magnetic back dial indicator against the carriage. We'll then move to position 8.195 down. That'll give us this right hand side. And then I will go to 0.243. That will give us the left hand side. We have to remove a 1/16 or 0.62 from the diameter. So on my machine it's direct reading. Whatever I put on the dial results in the diameter, so I will be advancing my cross slide 0.062. Right, I have my grooving tool set square to the work. I am up against the end of my work. I have my magnetic back dial indicator set to 0 here, so I will take my tool off the work and I will move to position A. That's 195 thousandths. Right there. I'll lock my carriage. I'm going to touch off. I'll touch off, set my cross slide dial to 0, and then I will plunge 62 thousandths. Here goes. Right there, we're touching. Move my dial to 0. Pleasantly uneventful. Move my carriage down to position B, 243. I'm at 195 now. So that's 243. My dial on the cross slide is still good. A little love. Just that easy. That went very well. We'll give her a little Scotch-Brite. I guess I could cut a piece of my Scotch-Brite pad off. Grooving. Grooving is good fun. Bring my tool to the face of the work gently. Let's make sure we're nice and clean there. I have to reset my zero right there. Reset my dial back indicator because we pulled the work out of the collet, but my cross slide dial will still be good. Position 1 is 195, 195, lock the carriage, little love. $200, $240. Three right there. We'll give this a blow on. Bring your tool close. Lots of love. There we have it. 2 grooves. Six and a half minutes start to finish. I'll do the other one off camera. There we have it. 2 pins with the grooves. The only thing left to do is put a little bit of a chamfer on this sharp edge just to remove that edge. We'll bring our diamond tool holder back in. Okay, we're set up to do our chamfering here. The size of the chamfer is not critical. We just want to remove that sharp edge, but it'd be nice to have all 4 ends of our pins with a consistent chamfer. So I think what I'll do is touch off with my cross slide and then advance the cross slide 5 thousandths. So we'll see what that looks like. That didn't seem to do a whole lot. I'm going to move further down my surface of my tool. I think I might have been on the radius there somewhat. Okay, there we touched off. That seems reasonable. I think so. I'm going to call that a total of 10 that we did there. If I seem clumsy, I'm working directly under the camera, so Touch off. Touch off in 10. You probably can't see anything, but that looks a nice subtle chamfer on there. If you don't have a collet chuck on your lathe, stop what you're doing, cash in your retirement fund and get yourself a collet chuck. This is as cheap as they get. Cheap collets, cheap chuck. I've probably got about 3 thou run out in here, but just not having to deal with jaws whirling around trying to take your fingers off is awesome. A lot of fun to work with collets. Good job. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 very nice wheel pins. Next up we'll do the spacer pins. In between the arm assemblies here there's a spacer pin. We'll work on those next time. Like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy your shop time. Play safe. Visit my store for lots of cool kits for the home shop machinist. Take care. Thanks for watching.